Hey guys, okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the full cost of my 2023 Polestar 2 long-range dual motor. So let's dive right into that. So first, I'll touch on what a management unit is, why or how I bought one. Then I'll break down the full cost of buying the car, full car price, insurance, road tax, so on and so forth. So if you guys want to skip here and there are chapters and timestamps in the description, so feel free to do so. Okay, so what is a management unit, right? So as you guys know, I bought a management unit directly from Werns, and what a management unit is essentially a car that the company buys for their VIPs, such as their directors. So Polestar had a director from Sweden who wanted to come over to Singapore to drive the highest spec Polestar 2, wanted to experience what it's like to drive on the roads of Singapore. So after this director went back after a month, they listed it for sale, right? So management units are a really good steal because you know it's been very well taken care of. It's not been driven on the track. It's not been, I don't think so at least. It's not like a media car where media cars, they loan it out to so many people to make content and you don't really know how these people drive it, right? So media cars are not something that I generally would buy, just to put it out there. It's really different from a management unit. Okay, anyway, so only at a month old, my SA, who was also my dad's SA, he sold my dad the Volvo T6 S90 Inscription, told me of this really good deal. It fit the specs of exactly the Polestar 2 that I wanted, and it was practically brand new, having been only registered for 1 month. Okay, so that being said, let me break down the full cost for you. Okay, so if you guys are lazy to watch the entire in-depth breakdown of the full cost, you can always feel free to skip to the next chapter where I'm going to do like a TLDR summary of the entire costings. It will probably be in the descriptions, or just scroll through the chapter bar on YouTube. So anyway, to date there are 2 models produced globally for Polestar. Right, you have the Polestar 1, which is a 2-door plug-in hybrid coupe, and you have the Polestar 2, which is a fully electric fastback. But unfortunately, they don't make right-hand drives for the Polestar 1, or at least not to my knowledge. They only have the left-hand drives, so you don't see the Polestar 1 in Singapore. And there are 2 variants for you to purchase in Singapore for the Polestar 2. You have the standard range single motor, which starts at 240,000 inclusive of COE, and you have the long-range dual motor, which starts at 287,000 inclusive of COE as of, what, 2 months ago. These were the prices 2 months ago, which was in Jan-Feb 2023. So prices may vary depending on when you're watching this video. Okay, so the management unit that I bought came with the performance pack, which cost 16,500. So first hand, it would have costed me a total of 303,500. Okay, but fortunately for me, I managed to buy the management unit at a 40-something thousand discount. So essentially, I bought it 1 month old. Instead of 303,500, I only paid 260,000 for it. So it's essentially almost a 15% reduction in price, which I was definitely not willing to pay 40,000 more just to get a slightly newer model. It just doesn't make financial sense, right? So that being said, I paid the standard 40% down payment and 60% loan. So my down payment was 104,000 and my monthly is $2,211. Okay, so next, my insurance cost me $2,004 per annum. And just to give you an idea, in case you want to gauge for yourself how much it's going to cost, I'm 25 years old. My driving experience is currently around 2.5 years. I have 0% NCD because previously my CLA, I bought it under my mom's name to rack up the NCD, and at the same time it was cheaper back then. But I know a lot of agents told me that NCD...
Oh yes, it can be transferable from parent to child.
Actually, it's not necessarily true. It's not entirely true. I've spoken to many insurers and they told me that it's subject to approval. So yes, while it can be done, it's actually subject to approval. What is allowed is between spouse and spouse, but even spouse and spouse is also subjected to approval. It's just that it's more common than between parent and child. So yes, parent and child transferring of NCD is allowed, but it's subject to approval, and I got rejected by 3 companies. So that being said, I decided to just buy this Polestar 2 under my own name and start clocking my own NCD. So this is for you youngsters out there who are successful and want to buy a car. If you buy under your mom's name, just take note that you potentially might not be able to transfer the NCD to your name years down the road when you have clocked up 50%. So for me, I just decided $2,004 per annum is not that expensive anyway. Even if I had bought it under my mom, it only cost about $2,000. So I'd rather pay extra $400 a year just to have that peace of mind knowing that I will be able to have that NCD under my own name. Okay, so next, road tax is quite the killer. My 2022 CLA 180 was only $500. How much? $586 per annum. My Polestar is almost 8 times more expensive than that. It's $4,180 per annum. So yes, you know, I mean, EVs tend to have slightly higher road tax than ICE vehicles, so just something to take note of. Up next, servicing should be pretty minimal. EVs tend to have an 8 to 10 year battery on their warranties, or at 160,000 km, whichever comes first. So for me, Polestar gave me an 8-year warranty on the battery. I have a 5-year warranty on the car. Typically, I think EV servicing would definitely be much cheaper because you don't have a lot of liquids involved, you know, like oil changes, engine issues, wear and tear on the brake pads. So I'd say servicing wouldn't cost you that much. I would say close to $0 lah, honestly. I have the 5-year warranty on the car, 8-year warranty on the battery, but I set aside $200-300. Let's just take it as $250 a year in case of certain things that are not covered under warranty, which is very unlikely. But anyway, yes, you don't have to replace your brake pads much if you drive EVs because brakes are not used a lot in EVs when slowing down the cars, because the moment you lift off your foot off the throttle, what slows down the car is not your brake pads, but rather this thing called regenerative braking. And how it works is where kinetic energy is absorbed back into the battery, where first of all it slows down your car, and second of all it charges your car, albeit just by a tiny bit lah. So it's not going to charge your car by a lot, but it's very tiny, but it still adds up over the long run. So yes, your brake pads, typically people change once every maybe 1 to 2 years, but in an EV, you can drive to maybe 5 to 6 years without even having to change the brake pads. Now, charging is pretty cheap if you stay in a landed property. It can go as low as $50 to $55 a month, okay? But of course, most of us, including myself, don't live in a landed property, and my condo has not built the EV infrastructure. They have not built the chargers yet. From what I heard, it was probably going to be next year, sometime next year. So how much exactly does it cost to charge an EV public chargers then, right? So before I share my personal experience, I just want to caveat that I haven't had enough info over a long enough period of time to really average out and do an accurate breakdown, because I've only been driving for 2 to 3 weeks. But I'll do another video in 6 months, you know, to share the more accurate figures. But as of now, I'm just going to prorate the data that I have. Also, just another caveat to put out there, my numbers might be a little bit skewed to the high side because I'm new to the whole EV space. So first of all, I'm really having too much fun stepping on the accelerator, and every chance I get, I haven't employed all the tips and tricks to optimize EV charging and reduce costs. So my numbers are probably going to be a bit higher than usual. So just want to put this out there. Anyway, that being said, I've spent around $64 over a 9-day period. So if you extrapolate that over 30 days, it's going to cost around $210 a month. I'm certain it will drop over the next few months of me driving as I get used to the whole EV charging space. Right, yeah, but $210, $220 a month is what I would spend if I extrapolate my data. Anyway, I know this is almost the same as an ICE vehicle, but it's still slightly cheaper, where I spent $335.60 a month on average on my CLA. So you can see it's about 20-30% cheaper. Okay, so this will be my TLDR summary of how much everything costs. If you guys are lazy, you probably will have skipped here. Full cost of the car is $260,000. Installments is $2,200 a month. Insurance is $2,004 per year. Road tax is $4,002 per year. Servicing, like I said, set aside $250,000. $250,000. Servicing, I set aside $250 a year. Charging, I set around $210 a month. Parking is standard, is around $334 a month. And the total monthly works out to be around $3,326 a month. So that pretty much sums it up for the full cost breakdown of my Polestar 2. Hope that was able to give you guys a clearer picture on how much EVs in general cost in Singapore. I know this is slightly more on the high side. There are definitely cheaper EVs. And rest assured, I'll be making more videos on EVs, you know, any lifestyle changes I have to make, how inconvenient or how convenient it is to charge your EVs instead of just spending 5-10 minutes at the petrol station, right? So these are things that I will be doing in the next couple of videos. So do subscribe, so the next time I post a video, you guys will be notified, and it really helps grow the channel. I'm still really aiming for that 1,000 subscribers, and then 5,000, and then 10,000. So thanks in advance, and I'll see you guys in the next video.